was the town we walked into, and it was a bit plain, and it was a bit just kind of square and angular. And Lasse said, "That's it, because we can make magic in this town."
Fifth was phenomenal visually and in terms of what it allowed us to do in terms of flexibility, but it also was a difficult place to film because of logistics. It's a small town, 350 people live there. We were a crew of 200 people, so we had to live all around it, sometimes as far as an hour away. But it was wonderful.
We also used some of the local townspeople as extras in the film. Most of the townspeople really embraced us. I think they liked the action. You know, it's a very sleepy little town normally. So the idea of an American film crew coming in was very exciting to them.
In addition to France, the production also shot in the West Country of England and in Shepperton Studios outside of London, where they rebuilt the town square as well as most of the interiors.
I walked onto set here the first day and felt like I was back in France.
It's typical French architecture, but somehow just slightly simpler. Every discussion I ever have with Lasse about design is always about simplifying and finding the most simple way to tell the story with the most honest expression.
I have David Grossman to thank. He's got great taste and a great eye. Yeah, the look of this film is really his. Action! In wanting to stay real with performances and the locations, we had French chocolate experts help us out with making the chocolates and with the look of that interior of the chocolaterie.
Juliette took this chocolate making very seriously, as she does everything else about her craft. Chocolate's a character in our film, and we track it the way we track almost any other character. In our story, chocolate has its seduction, has its devilish quality, has its passion and its healing power.
I went to a chocolate shop in France, in Paris, and I trained there for 2 days. There's a fascination when you see this dark, fluent river of chocolate. It's fascinating.
People's fascination with chocolate began over 1,000 years ago in the jungles of lowland Mexico and Central America.
Chocolate has such a rich history. The original form of consuming chocolate was as a beverage. The Aztecs and the Mayans would grind the beans up, and it would be in a warm, quite thick, grainy beverage that was known to have magical qualities, in particularly, in fact, as an aphrodisiac. Casanova, he wouldn't drink champagne before he went out for a night of carousing. He would drink chocolate. So there's something that's always been special and exotic about chocolate. Chocolate in Europe from 1500 really almost through to 1900 was primarily a product for the upper classes. The popularity of chocolate as a drink among society created a whole culture that developed around the act of going out and meeting people and drinking chocolate together. In some sense, it created a cafe society, or one might refer to it as chocolate houses. But it actually wasn't until 1847 in England where J.S. Fry and Son, a confectioner there, actually started to make the first chocolate bars where you could actually put it into bar form. And that really moved chocolate forward in terms of its ability to be more of a mass-consumed product.
Today, the average American eats more than 11 pounds of chocolate a year, and recent studies have shown that the benefits of chocolate may be more than just its taste.
Unfortunately, chocolate and chocolate cravings are looked upon negatively by the society in terms of health. But chocolate has a number of different properties which positively affect our bodies. A lot of the positive effects have to do with our brain chemistry. That when we indulge in a luscious piece of chocolate, we release a couple of powerful brain chemicals. One is serotonin, which helps to balance and calm us. The second one are endorphins, which give us sort of an elevated mood, almost a natural high. There's been some great research showing that chocolate is very high in antioxidants, which are natural disease-fighting chemicals that are found in fruits and vegetables. And some studies have shown that it can actually clear our arteries, that it doesn't cause heart disease, that we may even find at some point in the future that chocolate can prevent it.
One of the wonderful things about chocolate is its complexity. And that complexity comes from the very many different ways in which you can experience it, from its smell to its taste to the way it feels in your mouth. All those things come together.
Chocolate has a melting point of 97 degrees, which is right below body temperature. And it has a blend of over 500 flavors and odors, and pleasures our taste buds more than any other food. So as soon as we take that bite, our taste buds are sending thousands of messages to our brain and pleasing our brains before we even swallow it.
People have a natural affinity to chocolate. There's something about chocolate that just grabs people from a sensual point of view, from an emotional point of view, and from a taste point of view. It just, for some reason, is one of those foods that reaches out and touches people.
When I went to see Joanne Harris, the writer of the book, I said to her, what about chocolate? What was the idea? And mainly she told me, and I agree with her, that's about the gesture of chocolate.
Chocolate is part of the family of the sensual indulgence. It's a sensual part of life.
I like the most wonderful chocolate.
The movie's so magical, and the experience was so magical.
It's a fable, and there is something fabulous about all the characters, about the place itself.
It's a great lifting of spirits feeling about it.
I think the magic in her is believing that people can change. And chocolate is a good symbol for that.
That was a good film, so yeah.